Okay, I think we're here. You know, as usual, I'm never quite sure. So I have to, I have to have somebody tell me, can you see me? Can you hear me? That's the only way I know I'm actually here. Okay, so I'm going to wait on the lag until I see someone say something, and then we will proceed once we confirm that I'm actually here. Okay, looks like I am, but I have trust issues, so I'm not sure. Oh, Nancy can see me and hear me. Oh, look! Yay! Okay, it's confirmed. I am here. I wouldn't know that without your help. Okay, good. Oh, Carrie, your first live stream ever! That is so exciting. Okay, it's kind of like the first for me too, even though I've done several. I'm really uncomfortable with it and I forget how to do it each time. So every time it's like brand new. It's like the first one. So yep, there's that weirdness. Okay, thank y'all so much. Glad to know that I actually did something right, despite that I get an error message that says bad stream, adjust your video resolution. Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what it wants, so I'm just ignoring it. And apparently that's going to work out fine because you can see me, you can hear me. That's what counts. I'm rambling a little bit just to give people time to kind of file in because, I'm never on time for anything. So I figure straight up 8 o'clock. If I get started, then, the people who are like me are going to miss out on that first part. Okay, 51st live streams. That's about right, Carmen. Okay, let's see. Today, okay, we're going to do some doodling. That's what we're going to do. I'm trying to remember what I promised you. That's right. Okay, we made our unicorn rainbow papers last time, and somebody in the live stream on Saturday said it looked like a unicorn paper or something, and I just love that. It kind of stuck, so I'm just running with it. So we're going to take these that we did, and we're going to add to them like so. And I'll just show you some really super simple ways to add doodling to your papers, like this. And if you can't doodle, or if you think you can't doodle, I'm going to show you how wrong you are. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, should we get started? Dawn still sees Bill Murray. That's not good. Okay, is it just Dawn? I'm going to trust that I'm still going here, and if, we got technical difficulties, y'all are going to have to tell me, and then hopefully I'll see it, and then I'll just sit here and complain with you because I don't know how to fix it. Okay, so if you want to play along tonight, here's what you need. You're going to need some painted papers like we did. And it really helps if your painted papers have a white on them, like we did the other night. So you paint them and then you just put a little bit of white on them. And then we did some more made some marks and stuff on them on top of the white. So that's what you're going to need. Now, if you didn't get to that point, if you didn't watch Saturday's video, you don't even know what I'm talking about, I'll just do it really quick. So I can show you. You just take any painted paper that you have, and then I like to use a piece of waxed paper like this, and then some kind of a spreader, any kind of white paint, and yes, you can use gesso, and yes, you can just gesso over the whole thing and, white it out like that. But I really kind of like this because you can end up with some fun textures and patterns, and it's just more interesting. So you do this like so, Lay this pad down on here, do that. Pick it up. See, then you've got some white to work with without it being too contrived looking. You know, that's just funner, I think. And that will also kind of push the background into the background so that whatever we put on top sits on top. Funny how that works. So what we're going to use is a little bit of paint. And this is just what I'm using. It's totally optional, but just so you know. And I'm going to just pick like 3 or 4 of the colors that you used to make your rainbow papers, or any of the colors in your background paper that you're using. Victor, you woke up at 4 a.m. just to watch. Dude, you're totally my best friend ever. Thank you. Okay, let me do a quick run through. Let's do Romper Room like we did last time. You know, I see Victor and Kelsey and Karen and Carrie. There's Mary. Hi, Lisa. There's Razor Blade Darlin and Karen and Dawn. Hi, Lynn. That is so Romper Room. And if you don't know what I'm doing, just Google Romper Room, look for a Romper Room video, and then you'll get it. Okay. Now, totally lost my train of thought. I'm stuck in the Romper Room. Okay. Yes, these. These are what we're going to do. That's right. That's where we are. All right, let me put these away. I had some that, oh, here they are. Oh, yes. This is why I should not do this in the evenings. I am much fresher in the mornings. As loopy as I am earlier in the day, it just gets worse as the day goes on. Okay. I remember last time I showed you my little devotional mouse pad that I get, free in the mail. And I took one apart and decided I was going to use this to put all of my papers in that we're doing. I don't even know what to call them. I guess I should call them something. I don't know. Anyway, I decided that's what I was going to do. So I slapped paint on it, and I unbound it because it just had staples. I reinforced all of the creases with some washi tape that I wanted to get rid of, and then just did a simple long stitch binding, put it back together. And this is where I'm gluing in my pages. So we'll just do a quick flip through so you can see what your pages might look like in the future. See, this one's already been doodled on, and I put some collage pieces on it. Not all of them. I didn't do all of them like this. Some of them I just left like this. See, I didn't put any kind of image on it, and that's okay. I may go back and do that later. I may not. I don't know. My theory is anything that is in my hands is never completely finished. I reserve the right to go back and change it, 10 years from now if I want. So finished is relative. It doesn't matter to me. It's irrelevant, whatever. So I just skipped around, picked some pages, and see, these are some of the ones that we did on Saturday. And I just did a little bit of doodling on it like I'm going to show you today. It's really not doodling. It's more like just outlining what's already there. I'll show you. It's all good. And let's see. Got some more. This was a lesson in what not to do. This one had, it was the painty rainbow background, which I loved. I drew the flowers on it, which I loved. And then I went in and I tried to color them in using some pit markers, big brush markers. Didn't like it at all because the colors were not right with my background and they were too transparent and I wanted opaque. It just didn't make me happy. So no pit pens for me on these. There's this one and that one. And may be becoming one of my favorites. I really like how that turned out. That background was just perfect. Although, I do like this one too. I don't know. This one, okay. I detailed out my carrot, as best I could. And now, with these two things right here in the carrot, it looks like an owl. It's totally an owl. That's all I can see. I guess I'm going to have to finish out the owl now. And that. So, this is what you can do with your weird, random, painty papers if you want to. Okay? Okay. Now, I've got me a little stack of, these are the ones that I wanted to work on. And I usually like to work on, 3 or 4 at the same time, because if you have a little blob of blue paint out, it'll dry up before I get to the next page if I finish this one completely and then go on. So I'll put a little blue paint here, some here, and some there just to use up the blue paint. So I like to have several out to work on. So we'll just do this. That's good enough. And before I put anything down, okay, let's just talk about the doodling first, because I get asked this a lot, and I just can't stress enough how much I can't draw. Okay? I just cannot stress it enough that I cannot draw. I do not draw. I really don't even doodle. Look, these are the shapes that I can draw. I can do them halfway decent most of the time. That's not a lot of shapes. They're very basic. Anything kind of teardrop, paisley, I can usually manage that. And, these are my flower petals. I've got a choice of, 3 or 4 different flower petals. I can usually handle geometrics. They're never perfect, but I can get those down. I can make a checkerboard, and look at me going on those lines. Oh man, I can get those lines like nobody's business. I can do the little, I like this little thing. I can do swirls. I've got that down. This is it. This is my repertoire of drawing skills right here. And I'm not lying. If you look at my doodles, it's usually one of these shapes or a slight variation thereof. So let me show you. See, I can't draw leaves. I didn't set out to draw leaves. I was just drawing a line with a little squiggle and then kept going, and it kind of turned into something that looked like leaves. So I went with it. I had no idea this was going to be leaves because I can't draw leaves. If I had set out to draw leaves, this would be an entirely different, horrible picture. But okay, look at this one. See all that going on? And what's in here? Okay, we've got those, I can do that. I can do the checkerboard. Look, there's a circle, a square, there's triangles, there's a heart. It's kind of a little swoop. I can do a swoop. It's got the little, elongated teardrop thing. I can do that. These are not difficult. None of these are difficult. There is no drawing in here. There is no drawing in here. It is basic, simple, childlike geometric shapes. I really think that what makes these look so cool is the variation of thick and thin lines. And I would really like to say that I plan it all out and, and make sure that I have a balance of thick and thin lines. Oh, no, that is not what happens here. The only reason I have thick lines is because when I drew my original one, it was crooked. So to compensate for it, I had to keep coloring it in until I cleaned up the shape. That's all it is. So yeah, there's no magic in any of these. They are the same basic geometric shapes, even the flowers. See, I've got this one, I can do that one. I've got this, I can do that. That one, see, it's right there. I've got this. That's all. That's all there is to it. And then it's just a matter of just filling in the blanks with the few shapes that I can actually draw and hope that it turns into something interesting. So you can doodle. If you can do this, something similar to this, and I know you can doodle. And this is all we're going to do. Just these things, because that's all I did on the other thing. Ooh, I've been doing this one thing recently that I'm like copying from someone. I have to show you what it is because it's really cool and I'm not even doing it right, but I'm loving it. Okay, so first things, some of my pens are permanent, some are not, and I always forget which are permanent, which are not. So just so that I don't have to overtax my brain, I usually start with the paint. That way I'm not worried about getting anything wet over my pens and having them smear. So just start with the paint. That is the only logic for why I start with the paint. And if you've already used your mark making tools or texture tools on top of your pages, then you've already got shapes to start with. And you may not have to do a whole lot of anything or anything at all. Maybe I should get one that doesn't have much on it so I can actually demonstrate some of this. Maybe that one. Oh, this one. Okay, this is, I don't know what I'm doing with this one. Okay, we'll use this one. All right, what I'm going to do is start with, I'm going to pick a color that's in here. I see just a little bit of blue, so I'm going to grab the blue. And then I'm going to squeeze a little bit out onto my palette, which this is the palette I tend to use when I'm doing these little things like this. Because if we squirt this much out on a palette over here to the side, I'll forget about it. I'll forget to use it and then it dries up. But I usually don't forget to use it. That's on me. So I've got my brush. This, it says 4. I don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of brush it is. I would think pretty much any kind of, brush that looks kind of like that would work. And then I'll wet it just a little bit. And now I'm going to dip it into my, I'm going to wet it a little more because apparently my skin is dry and it's drying out my paint. Okay. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to pick one of my super awesome artistic shapes and just slap it on here. And I'm just feeling like I want to do this. I'm going to need to move in, aren't I? Okay, let me zoom in so y'all can see. How's that? I'm going to have to scooch. No, wait, I can move my camera. Oh, there we go. Okay, figuring it out on the fly. Now, let me refocus. Are we focused? I can't tell. Yes, now we're focused. All right, back to this. Okay, see, there's a little something to start with. And I've still got blue paint on my palette. So I'm going to grab this, add a little more water to my brush. I'm just barely tipping the end in just to loosen that up a little bit. And then I might draw a circle around some of these circles. Like so. I can't even see the circles. There. Good enough. And I've got this little bit left over. There's one of these. Let me find a bad one. I think these are all my good ones. Here, I'll use this one. I'm wetting my brush And then I can just clean my brush off on one of my pages. And you can clean your palette off too. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab another color, like maybe this. No, I was looking at this one now. Let's do the pink. There's a tiny bit of pink showing through, so let's grab a little bit more pink. Rinse my brush, dab it off on the paper towel, dip it back in the pink, and I'm going to make a swirly right here. One right here, and right there. Like that. So I made 3 swirlies. We can't hardly see them, but that's okay because we're going to be adding stuff, right? Okay, I'm seeing this page might need a little pink. And what pink does it need? You know what? Remember, I can make these really awesome lines like that. Yeah, look at me go, boy, let me tell you. That is impressive. So there we go. Just did that. And then on this one, maybe I want some weird big triangles over here. Maybe I want 3 not the same size. Like so. What else can I do? Okay, this one, I don't think I really need to add a shape because it's got a lot of shapes, but I can trace some of these shapes that are already here because I can trace. I can do that. Pretty sure you can do that too. I don't even have to do it neatly. And I don't have to do all of them either. So there we go. I felt like there was another one that I was doing something on, but now I don't see it. I could do something here. Okay, sometimes I might just want to take some paint and just like do like this in the corner. Just cause. And then do it again like on the opposite corner. Just like that. See? See? Just little bits of something. And then want my brush, add water, clean my palette. Okay, how about one more? How about purple? All right, let's do this one. Here's something I like to do. You know, I can draw the swirlies, but I can make dots too. And you start out little in the middle, and then just start pressing down harder as you go. They're not really dots, they're more like blobs. And then you get this weird spiral thing, like that. And something here I could do is, how about squares? Like so. Or, see, these are squares, or diamonds. See how I did that? See? Okay. And this one needs, sometimes I like lines like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if they get smaller. There, I can do that. Okay. So I think that's good enough. That's just an example of the little painties that you can add if you didn't do a lot of mark making while you were painting. And there is you a solution for that. Putting a palette. Okay. Now, give those a second to dry. And while they're doing that, let's take a look at some of these others that I did. And you can kind of see. Let's get a longer look. Okay, this was just a disaster because I had used some of the pit pens on it, the big brush markers, and decided I didn't like it. And I'd already drawn these on, so I just filled them in with white paint and then painted over them. But I actually kind of like the way it turned out now. I think it needs some kind of a central image, like maybe right here. But it worked. And then, you know, I did this. See my fancy doodling? This was the little thing that I just did, the purple blotchy swirly things. That's how I usually do that. And see, there's another one of those shapes. And then I just traced some of these. This was just more tracing, outlining. See, I did this little shape. I did the and then I added some triangles. Okay, flowers, circles with swirls, basic shapes, nothing fancy. This one was just my swirls that I do, and I do these a lot, because it's my favorite thing to draw. So I've practiced them a little bit, and you know, like with everything, you practice it, it gets better. Funny how that works. That's what your mama said about piano lessons. She was right. Okay, so let's move to the pens. All right, I've got my Graphic liner pens. You can get these from Jet Pens, and I've got them in, what have I got? 01, 02, 03, 05, and 1.0. So it's basically from, you know, like writing with a human hair to this kind of big fat thing going on. So I just like to have a variety of nib sizes. You don't need this many nib sizes. You know, 3 would be plenty, but they're a set. They came in a set, so I've got the set. I have a Faber-Castell Pitt pen, a black brush, tipped one. I've got a Posca paint pen in black and in white. This is the pointy, skinny tip kind. I've got 2 white gel pens. This is the Pilot Choose in an 07 size. And this one's a little fatter. This is the Uniball Signo in the 1.0. And then this one, okay, this one is a China marker, or it's also called a grease pencil. And this was gifted to me recently, and I've been using it and actually kind of having fun with it. It's kind of like it's kind of like a crayon, because you can make, when you use it on top of acrylic paint, it doesn't really, you know, love acrylic paint, so it doesn't write really clearly, so it just ends up looking like a shadow, sort of. Kind of like a Stabilo all pencil, you know, that you have to wet, only you don't have to wet it. So there you go. I've been having fun with that. And this is the one that I usually start with, just because. So let's do that. let's start with maybe these flowers. I love me some good flowers. And that purple's still wet. So I can just take this and kind of go around. Now you can do actual shading, you know, like in relation to where the light source would be and that whole thing. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me. I've never been able to catch on to shading like that, so I don't even bother. I just put dark stuff around lighter stuff to make it show up better, and I'm happy with that. I'm good with it. Doesn't have to be actual shading. And go around here, like so. I should do that. In there. And I'm just being really messy about this because this is mixed media and we can do that. We're allowed. So there's that. You with me? Okay, are we good? All right, let me take a look at the chat thing. Should we do another romper room? I see Lucy and Kelsey and Karen and Kate. I see Becky and Lucy and Linda and Michelle. There's Karen and Kate again. She's here twice. Oh, Kelsey is here some more, and Denise and Karen and Lottie. There's Lucy and Kate again. I'm not going to judge Kate for talking so much, but you know, she's up on every single screen when I scroll. There is Leslie and Mary and Karen and Kelsey. And oh my God, Kate, do you ever shut up? I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up and I'm giving Kate a really hard time because I love her. Okay. Oh no, I scrolled too far. I totally lost the chat. Oh my God, and Melissa. Okay, and there's Melissa who shouts when she does not get acknowledged. All right. Let's see. Where am I here? I totally lost my train of thought. Y'all don't let me do that because my train of thought is gone and I'll never get it back. Oh, there we are. That's right, Becky. You would probably not see that on Romper Room. Okay, so I'm going to continue with my China marker on some of these squares or diamonds. Squares or diamonds. There we go. Uh-oh. I do have this really crumbly paper that tears when you look at it, so I gotta remind myself to be gentle. Okay, there's some more of that. I see you, Lottie. Are you saying I never saw you? And yes, I see Karen Rogers. I see Peg. I see Maria. I see Michelle. I see everybody. I just, the thing scrolls up so fast that I have a hard time acknowledging everybody. By the time I read your name, you've scrolled up, and then I don't see you, and I forget. And y'all know, I'm doing the best I can here. That's all good, right? Okay. Train of thought. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Here we go. Yeah, there's not going to be too many more of these evening live streams because I am not feeling too, start to say I have that not so fresh feeling. But that's not really what I meant. I just meant that my brain is not so fresh. And apparently I have no control over my mouth when it gets late. So there is that. Okay. That's good. This one, okay. See, these little triangles over here are just not going to show up without some help. So I'm going to give them a little help, and maybe the inside of these I'll scribble. And over here, here. This is probably enough with this pencil because I know not everybody has a pencil like this. But I'm just loving it. Okay, let's move on. Pen. Pen, pen, pen. This is where I can get, you know, really super tedious, and sometimes I like really super tedious. I'll try not to do that because I'll just zone out and I'll forget y'all are here. I'm going to start with this brush, big brush, not big brush, little brush. Pitt pen, little brush pen. I usually tend to start with the fat ones and work my way to the skinny ones. Don't even ask me why. I don't know if it makes a difference or makes any sense or anything, but I'm just telling you, that's what I do. Okay, this, see, I might want to put like a swirly in the middle of some of these blobs. Like that. Yeah. And then maybe over here, I want to do that. Maybe I want to make one of these like that. And this one, I don't think I want fat lines on that one. Oh, this needs something right here. What can I put there? Look at my thing. Ooh. I think I will do this. That was a little weird, but okay, it's fine. It's all good. I'm going to get my other pen, my 1.0 graphic liner, which is the fat one. And this makes fat lines, just the fat one. And I can go around some of these, not carefully. Like that. Probably won't take the time to finish all of these out while we're here because that could get super boring. And I just want to show you what you can do even if you think you have no doodling abilities. See? Just adding a little definition. And let's do it to some of these. I need to quit ripping this paper. Okay, pretty cool. This one, I think I'm going to do that with some of these. Wonder, there it is. So should we start calling this the romper room? I guess that's better than the crack hour, right? Can it be crack hour in the romper room? That could work. And this one. Okay, I'm going to go around my little circles, or my paint blobs, you know. I'm going to make little circles around them. They're not perfect circles. I don't think they need to be. Here we go. Okay, I like that. Not that one, not that one. Okay, now I'm going to move to a finer tip pen. Think about an 03. All right. And with this 03, I can outline some others with a finer point. Or I can go over what I outlined with the bigger point and, you know, make more lines, make extra lines. Because it's mixed media, and this is what we do, right? We make a lot of unnecessary lines. We outline stuff over and over and over. And then we scribble. See, now it's mixed media. This little fold right here is what's causing me a problem, making me tear my delicate papers. I could just sit here and do this all night. I just really kind of love it. Okay. Oh, no, I'm not through with that pen. I'm through with that paper. Now this one, I want to do this, I guess. And I don't know, I think that one looks okay. This one, just put some lines like that. And some inside this one and outside. So, and then I can do that down here. Okay, did I do this one already? I did not. I need something on those because they're, I think I need my 1.0 back. Where'd it go? I need the fatter one. Yeah. Just gonna trace along the line I already made. Where the end? Somewhere around there. Okay, that's better. Do that. You know what I should do? I don't have a place for it. Okay, I'm going to do it right here to show you something. Okay, and we're going to come back to that. Okay, now I will go in with my white pen. And this is the Signo Uniball Signo 1.0. It's kind of the fat one. And it's almost out, but I think I've got a backup if this runs out. So let's see how far I get. And I will make white marks. They don't even have to be particularly good white marks. And see, that flower just kind of pops now. Much, much better. This right here. I can do something like this. Which I think is fun. I can do, if I want to do like a little things in the middle of each petal. And irritate me. And I'm not sure that my paint pen is going to be any better. Oh, I guess it is. There we go. Maybe a little something in between those. Okay, you're seeing how super simple this is. There is just nothing to it. It's basically the same simple shapes over and over. Vary the placement and the thickness. And it actually looks kind of cool. See? 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 Let's see. I like doing this with these Posca pens, pointy Posca pens. You can get perfect little dots. I probably can't see. I'll have to zoom in on some of these. I want my brush pen back because I want a triangle in the middle of each of these like that. And then I want a dot. Oh. My ink is still wet. So I'm getting a gray dot on top of each one, and I'm pretending like that was my plan all along. And let's try this. I'm kind of forgetting about y'all. You're still here? Yes. Still here. Okay. Good to know. Okay. I think that's good. And I think I want to do a circle in some of these. Randomly, kind of sort of planned randomly. Premeditated randomness. Yeah, maybe that's it. So dark. Here we go. Okay. And like that. I feel like I need something in these, but I don't know what. I don't need in there. You can use paint pens too. Almost all my paint pens are all used up. So that is the only reason why I am opting to not include them tonight. But normally they are excellent additions. And I like a little dot in the middle of these. There we go. And let's do this because this is in my repertoire. I can draw lines. Okay. Okay, let me show you this down here. This is why some of my lines on my doodles are thick and thin, because if they come out kind of weird, you know, like let me zoom in. I may have to do this on a different sheet to show you. Let me get a little close. Oh, that's as close as I can go. That's kind of a bummer. Okay. Next time I'll have to pull my camera down closer so I can get closer. All right, let me show you. Let me make this a little darker so you can see. But when I have a swirly, I need it on a different paper. Okay, let's say I make a swirly. Okay, it's awesome, except for this one little flat spot right there, right? Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, that little flat spot right there. That's bugging me. So this is the only reason why some of my doodles have thick and thin lines, because the way I fix that is I usually take a skinnier pen, and then I go around and I clean up my lines. And I make it look like, you know, they were drawn well to begin with when they weren't. But it's like if I have a starting point, it's easier for me to fix the shape rather than it is to draw it well to begin with. Does that make sense at all? I don't know if it does. Like, I can't really draw it well to begin with, but if it's drawn badly, I can fix it. I'm a fixer. I can fix it. So that is what I do, and that is the reason behind the thick and the thin lines. It's not a planned design element. It's me trying to fix a shape that I screwed up. And this might be tedious for some people. This is very soothing for me, just to go around these lines over and over like this and thicken them up and straighten them up. And yeah, see, I like that. So if you draw something not so great, don't just look at it and go, ugh, it's awful, it's crooked, it's lopsided. You know, my swirly has got a flat spot. Just take your pen, take another pen, and go in and thicken your lines and fix it as you go. And it works. It works for me. I'm just convinced it would work for everyone. You get the idea. Same thing with a circle, because it's hard to freehand a really good circle. So you can make a circle, and if your circle's got a flat spot, okay, no big deal. For some reason, it's easier to fix it than it is to draw it correctly to begin with. So now, see, I've just gone in and fixed my little flat spot, and I have a fairly decent circle. Or, if I keep going, it's going to be a donut. But that's okay. Maybe it was meant to be a donut all along. So it's still a little flat over here, so I'll pull that side out a little bit. And there. Then you have a good circle. Okay, so that's all there is to it. All right. There was one more thing I wanted to show you. That's what this was all about, because, you know, when I draw them, they're not quite right. There's flat spots here and there. They're, you know, my swirly is never quite exactly swirly, but, you know, if it's just intolerable to look at, I'll go in and fix it and thicken up those lines. So easy breezy, right? So this is super simple. Use what's already there, trace it, outline it, you know, go from there. And I can keep going on this, and make more of these or whatever. But here's one thing I want to show you, because I have just like outright stole this from Ray Missigman. If you watch Ray Missigman's 15 Minutes of Mixed Media, or just anything she does, because she's so awesome. And she just inspires me every time I watch her. And she does, on her pages, she'll do this, and I really don't know if she is journaling, if she's actually writing something, but you can't read it. And it just looks like this really cool, swirly kind of, you know, hidden code writing or something. And she's probably actually writing something in a really cool way, but I'm not. I'm just making scribbles that look like it's writing something. See, like right here. And I did it right here. And there's some here. And it's just a cool little way to balance out your page. If you need, you know, if you got like a naked spot, you need something, you don't know what to put there, then you can do this and find one that would be good. Okay, here's kind of a white spot. So I will just go, and there it is. And it says absolutely nothing. And there may be a couple of, you know, actual letters in there accidentally, but not really on purpose. And that's what it is. And I'm just loving that. Absolutely loving it. Plus it looks like a journal when I really didn't. And, you know, so that would appease those people who are like, but you didn't even write on your journal page. Just some scribbles. So you can give that a try. Just do a little. And it looks like you wrote something, but you really didn't. Right? No, we cannot have naked spots. Okay. Let me check in on the romper room, on all the crackheads in the romper room. Does anybody have any questions about anything about doodling, about the backgrounds? I'm loving this one a lot. This one's making me really happy. Yeah, I really like that. So questions, comments. This is the I'll take questions from the audience time. You're gonna have to make up questions, or I will make them up for you. Yes, Kiki, you have permission to screw up. Oh, good. I'm so glad y'all liked it. So see, you can take your page, you can just do a little outlining or a little simple doodling on it, and then collect it in a drawer or a book. The name of the person who does 15 minutes of mixed media is Ray Missigman. I'm probably butchering her name, but that's the way I say it in my head. I can spell it, I cannot pronounce it. She's on YouTube. She's one of the Art to the Fifth gals who did the Documented Life project. She does really, really great stuff. The pen in my hand is called an Ohto, O-H-T-O. There's glare, sorry. Ohto graphic liner. I get these from Jet Pens. You can buy them open stock. You can buy them in a set. And they are fabulous. They will write on absolutely everything. Everything. And because it's a metal, almost like a rollerball nib, it doesn't pick up junk and get clogged up. So it is just a really awesome mixed media pen. This is the Fat Tip 1.0, and then it has the, it goes all the way down to 0.1 or 0.01 or what, I don't know, there's whatever. See, it's teeny tiny. It's like writing with a human hair or like an eyebrow. Oh, this one started leaking about a week ago, and I thought it quit, but apparently it hasn't, which is really strange. I've never had one leak before, but for whatever reason, this one's leaking. That is not common. And they're not expensive. They're not a super expensive pen at all. So I really, really like these pens. Okay, let's see. Yes, you will. You will destroy your like felt pen nibs trying to see if they ride over acrylic, because they pick up the residue and it just gets gunked in there. Okay, I'm scrolling back to see. Oh, okay, someone mentioned texture plates, and the ones I used Saturday, I'm pretty sure those were for polymer clay. Several people who watched the video chimed in and said that they thought that they were for polymer clay use, and I'm pretty sure that's correct, because I think I got them from Patty Tolly Parrish, who does polymer clay. Not sure, but I think. My hand looks like I got it caught in the door. It does. It looks wounded. I am hoping I remember to wash that off before I go to bed. Amazon link. I do have, I do have, okay, so I do the affiliate program thing with Amazon, but I totally forget to use it. But I've used it a couple of times because I get a check for like $4 every month. I will get you some links either for Amazon or Jet Pens where you can go and find these pens. I'll do that after I get done, and maybe tomorrow. Yes, it even writes on skin. Yes, it does. Okay, who else? Anybody else got anything? Got any questions? Got any comments? You know, this is your chance. If you've always wanted to say something to me, now is your chance. Get your digs in while I'm having a weak moment. Okay. Oh, hey, Barb. Barb's here and Janet's here. Oh, we're back to romper room. Okay, let me get the romper room out of my system. Rosemary, soupy sales. Oh man, there's a blast from the past. Okay. Who else do we have here? Kelsey and Melissa and Dawn and Peg and Lucy. I think that I've already, there's Maria and yes, Sonia, these pens are amazing. Scatter 50, what is your name? I mean, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I feel funny calling you Scatter 50. Dawn and Mary West, hey Mary, and Franna, I believe, Kiki, Laura Church, how are you? And Michelle Scott and Jennifer Rutledge. And who else? I'm just scrolling, trying to pick up names I haven't shouted out yet. Did I say Peg Robinson? I think I did. Did I say Beverly Stout? I don't know, but I should have. Okay. And Marianne. And Gail Brody. And who else do we have? Ray Slaughter, Lucinda, Sherry. Gosh, y'all are so awesome for showing up. I really appreciate that. Okay. And Carrie Miller Berry. And Ava and Kimmy. Hi, Kimmy. Did you learn something, Dawn? I'm so glad. I am so glad. I am glad to be back, Carol Ann Colors. I really am. It just feels like coming home. Feels good. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. That is it. If y'all have any more questions or anything, just leave it in the comments of the video once it gets up on YouTube. I think it takes it a few minutes to, process and do its thing. So, but it'll be up there, and I always do try to respond to your comments. 159 viewers? Really? Wow. That is so, I'm glad I didn't know that. That would have made me nervous. This was really fun, and I'll try to do some more of these. Like I said, maybe at different times. I'm not sure about this evening thing, but maybe during the week and some on weekends, and we'll figure it out. But y'all, take care. Thanks again for being here, and I think that's all I got. So, I just have to stall before I say the end because it takes me a minute to figure out how to turn this stupid thing off. Okay, I've got it now. Okay, ready, set, the end.